Warm welcome. This is episode 6 of Stu's Wrestling Podcast, and I'm absolutely made up I managed to get this guy on. He is the Wrestling Travel founder, Lee Mcateer, and it was brilliant to get him on. Absolutely fantastic to get him on. We had a great chat. He managed to spare me 20-25 minutes. He had a very busy weekend because For the Love of Wrestling was on, so I was chuffed to bits to get him on. So yeah, here it is, episode 6 with Wrestling Travel founder Lee Mcateer. Enjoy. It's my absolute pleasure to have founder of Wrestling Travel, Lee Mcateer, on the line this afternoon. How's it going, Lee?
Stu, fantastic. It's really, really busy. It's almost about to happen. The big event in Liverpool for Love of Wrestling in association with, of course, Wrestling Travel. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But, of course, I'm always going to give some free time for you, fella.
Much appreciated, mate. I know you're, up to your eyeballs with everything. I don't know how you sleep, mate. I don't know how you get time to sleep, to be honest with you.
I don't, Stu. That's the thing. I don't sleep.
How much sleep did you get last night, Lee?
Well, I left the office at 2 o'clock, got back to the house on the Wirral at about 4,
yeah.
And I was taking phone calls about 7:30, so I never was good at maths, so I'll let you guys work out what that was, about 3.5, I think, but I normally, give or take, I work on what internally with my guys known as the 4-hour theory, so as long as I've got 4 hours sleep, I'm okay, but I'm a little bit less than what I need normally.
So how was WrestleMania with Wrestling Travel?
Well, I'm probably going to be biased, Stu. I'm going to tell you it was absolutely incredible, amazing, the best event you could ever go to. And, the cheap plug of the fact that our Wrestling Travel WrestleMania 36 packages are now live. But no, I mean, on a serious note, it was absolutely fantastic. It was brilliant. And what we've tried to do, and we're definitely getting there, is we're trying to create a community of wrestling fans, like-minded individuals who love wrestling, who want to be able to experience it with other wrestling fans. And we're getting there. We've got a lot of single travellers who've got no one to go with. So what they're doing is they're choosing Wrestling Travel as a way of getting to Mania, which is fantastic. Of course, we had a very special guest with our famous Unlimited bar. I think the bar tab I picked up in the end was about 5,500, which was a nice one. But when you get the Cowboy James Storm to come, you know that there's going to be a few beers. So that's probably one of the reasons why the bar tab was so much. But just to see the guys' faces when the Cowboy walked in, it was absolutely fantastic. So we're going to be doing more of that. We've got some unbelievable special guests for Tampa, and of course there'll be some more unlimited drinking parties going on. Whether or not we invite the Cowboy again, I'm not quite sure, because I'm not sure we can carry that bar tab. But watch this space.
It's cool, man. The interactivity, obviously, you getting the wrestlers involved with the fans. I really like that. That's awesome, man.
No, I appreciate that. Well, that's what it's about. Is that when Wrestling Travel was first formed, my ex-girlfriend Holly, who probably deserves a shout out, because she always thinks that all I do is rip her on podcasts and in the media, it seems, which is not the case. But basically, she got me tickets to WrestleMania 30, which of course was even now still the best WrestleMania I've been to. But what I didn't realise was the tickets were actually the easy bit. The hardest bit was actually knowing when all of the other events were on. Yeah. Trying to sort the flights, good accommodation. It was a real pain, man. It was a real pain, and because we've obviously got our Raptor and Atoll travel bonded company through Invasion, it was quite an easy way of putting things up. And then once we'd made the right contacts, we put it all together, and Wrestling Travel now has just gone, absolutely crazy. I mean, the big kid in me. Bret Hart, the Hitman, who's obviously, he was my icon growing up.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Posts from Wrestling Travel, and you just think to yourself, bloody hell, this is my icon. And the little 10-year-old kid in me who was wearing those sunglasses is like, oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. And it's going to go one stage further on Sunday because I've been asked to present the main audience with Brett on the Wrestling Travel stage for the Love of Wrestling. So I'm literally going to be on stage live on Fight TV. It's going to be quite a nervous one for me, that one, because I'm meeting a hero, but we'll see how it goes.
Have you met Brett before?
I haven't, no.
Oh, right, okay.
The first time I meet him will literally be on the Sunday.
Yeah.
I can't actually make the majority of Saturday because my beloved Tranmere, we've got our last game against Bury. Massive game for us as we continue our promotion push. So I might even try and get Jeff Jarrett to come down at half time. We'll see.
He's had the shirt on, hasn't he?
He has. He's been wearing it to Gold's Gym. He sent me a few messages on WhatsApp with him wearing the shirt, and it's just great to see all the Tranmere fans who are engaging with him, and it's just fantastic. And Jeff himself came down to play football with a load of disabled kids at Tranmere down in our rec centre, and that's what it's about. Is I'm trying to create access to these people who, in theory, you don't normally get access to, and whether that's on a football level, whether that's on a wrestling level, or some of the other things that I'm exciting things that I'm working on at the moment. It's all about having that access to create experiences that normally money can't buy.
What is your role with Tranmere Rovers Football Club then? Just to let the listeners know a bit of background, please.
So well, quite honestly, I will do whatever the chairman and vice chairman ask me to do, whether that's help serve a pint or something more. I'll do it, but the official title is I'm an associate director of the club, and for me, it's just it's a pinch yourself moment.
Awesome, man. I don't know how you get the time to do it all. I really don't. You're unbelievable, mate. You're unbelievable, mate. Fantastic, great stuff.
Maybe that's the reason why I look like I've aged about 30 years when I'm still in my early 30s, and I look like about 50. Probably because I don't sleep. Because everyone says get your beauty sleep, well, I don't sleep, and I'm not beauty, and I've got a face for radio, so it is what it is.
Is there no switch off? Is is your brain constantly?
No, constantly going. Literally.
Yeah.
I can't help it. I work at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I've got a huge chip on my shoulder in the fact that I want to consistently prove that I can create new things, better things, more amazing experiences. And, for me, you've got one shot at it. You've got one life to live it to the full. And I know it sounds corny as anything, but I do genuinely live by that. But I think the fact that I sleep so little, I work so hard, I travel so much, it's probably one of the reasons why I'm single as well. But at the end of the day, this is what my life is about. This is what my career is about, and I'm so passionate and dedicated. Is that I never want to let anybody down. So if the chairman calls me at 4:30 in the morning or WhatsApps me, which sometimes happens, then I'm going to be there for him. I'm going to be responding, because at the end of the day, I consistently put myself in the shoes of the other person, and whether that's a customer, a consumer, a business partner, a business relationship, as I always ask myself is, how do they feel? How did they think? What are they thinking? Because if you can understand what they're thinking, then all of a sudden you can come to the table with much more of an idea in terms of how to handle situations. And albeit I've obviously got, must be 30 odd brands or more now. But the reality is that with something like Tranmere, is that in essence I've got a boss again with Mark and Nicola.
Yeah.
And for me is that I don't want to let them down. I want to give it absolutely everything. And I'm really, really proud of the stuff that Tranmere's doing.
Yeah.
I'm really, really proud, and I play a very, very small role in that. But what I do is I try and do it to the very best of my ability, and things like the social media, the marketing. I've actually got the head of marketing, Jonathan Swift, in my offices at the moment, and we're working on some new ideas. So it never rests, and the chairman says better never sleeps, and for me that is exactly me. So I was brought in straight away, and let's be frank, who wouldn't want to work with someone of the stature of Mark Palios?
Of course.
It's a real pleasure and privilege just to know and never mind work with him.
Yeah. How many, just to go back to your business, how many people do you employ? And that's not just through Wrestling Travel, that's all the other brands.
Gosh.
How many are on the books now?
Wow, it's a lot.
Okay.
I suppose because we're dealing with so many other countries in terms of also partnership arrangements that we have in the States, in Canada, in Asia, and everything else that we're doing. I mean, you could probably argue it's over 100 now, I suppose. But then we've also got our campus managers. We've got some incredible campus managers. But we must have at least over 100 campus managers across all of the different brands. And then we've got reps who work with us as well. So I suppose, if you were to include directly or indirectly in terms of how many people are part of the brand in one way or the other, it's well over a couple of hundred. But in terms of our head HQ, or at least our UK HQ anyway, is that at any given time we could have up to 40 people who are working solidly on the variety of different brands.
Quite that's mad, man. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Believe me, it's mad for me.
Yeah, I bet it is.
I was supposed to be a lawyer, and I ended up in all this stuff.
You gotta look. You got
the wrestling and football businesses. What's that about?
You gotta look. You gotta look after them all as well, Lee.
I do, and it's not easy, and sometimes I let them down because I'm doing so much.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, but I do. I try my very, very best for the guys. But I'm quite a simple guy. If someone's good to me, I'll be great to them. If someone's bad to me, well, it goes the same way. I'm a great believer that you treat people how you want to be treated. And if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter how big a mistake it is, put your hand up and apologise and learn from it and move on. But what you can't do is you can't continue to make the same mistakes, because where it becomes sometimes difficult for me is that I class the vast majority of all the people that I work with as friends. But there has to be that fine line between friendship and business, because if there isn't a business, then I can't pay their mortgages, I can't pay, if they want whatever they want to buy. Obviously, I'm responsible for making sure they get paid at the end of the month, alongside my incredible business partner Nick Steers. So, we take those responsibilities very, very seriously.
Just to go back to wrestling travel, how wide is the international press coverage now for the company?
Man, it's been crazy, absolutely crazy. So Forbes very kindly did a very nice article on me recently. We've had coverage in the Times, the Independent. It's just gone. A Bleacher Report.
Wow.
Unilad. Literally, it's just gone absolutely everywhere. And of course, the Daily Mirror. The Daily Mirror has been a fantastic advocate for everything that we've been doing at Wrestling Travel. So it's going crazy, and the amount of requests that we're getting for interviews and things like that, it's very, very humbling, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's, at the end of the day, I'm one of a team, and I'm nothing without my team.
That's cool, man. That's cool. When did your partnership come in with New Japan Pro? Because I'm right in thinking you're doing packages for Wrestle Kingdom, aren't you, next January?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're actually in the process of putting that together. We're probably going to be going live properly with those packages at Starcast as part of Double or Nothing in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So that's when those are going to be going live. We're working very, very hard to basically create what is going to be known as the American division of Wrestling Travel, because at the moment we're only really catering for, dare I say it, an audience outside outside of the US and Canada. But the amount of requests that we've been getting for things has been substantial. It's been absolutely crazy. So we're working on that at the moment. But yeah, New Japan's a very interesting market, and All Elite, of course, is the talk of the industry. We've got Chris Jericho coming over on a Saturday. Strangely enough, we've just been told that he's on a plane with Xavier Woods. Don't know why that's happening. Not quite sure what's going on there, but anyway, he's on a plane with him at the moment. So it's a very, very exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and there's so many, dare I say it, Christmas-like days for wrestling fans coming up with the incredible event that Andy Cleek at Monopoly and has put on with Full of a Wrestling that we're working with. And then you've got, of course, the unbelievable Conrad Thompson and his team that are putting on Starcast. There's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan. There's more access to the talent, there's bigger shows, and dare I say it, there's now a variety. You've got some fantastic independent shows. The guys today are going to a great event headed by Jay Apter, TNT Wrestling. If you haven't seen TNT, please check it out. It's fantastic. So they've got an evening with Jimmy Havoc that's tonight. They're doing great things. But then you've also got some fantastic independent wrestlers that aren't signed to anybody yet. So someone like Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry is a star. He is going to be, I think, the next few years, I think this boy is going to go absolutely to the top. And of course, normally people just look at WWE. Well, there's so much more. So if you want to take your kids to a family wrestling show, you can do that. If you want your hardcore matches with the likes of Jimmy, you can do that. And that's why it's great. Sports entertainment means different things to different people. And what we're trying to do, we're trying to cater for everything from your local wrestling event in Wisconsin. So big shout out to Justin Clapper, who heads that up for us over there, all the way to dare I say, your wrestling show in Liverpool, or maybe you want to go to an event such as a progress event. We're trying to cater for all different levels of what people's budgets and capacities are, and it's so exciting, man. It's really, really exciting. As you can probably tell, I'm very passionate about this, and
absolutely,
this is just the start, because we're creating a whole sports division. Very exciting.
It's awesome. How many people have booked on for WrestleMania 36 next year in Tampa?
Well, so far we've capped it. So we haven't taken any bookings for a few days. We've capped it. We've already sold our first 100.
Right.
So literally sold the first 100 in 48 hours. And also, I'd like to apologise for the ones that were trying to book and couldn't, because we didn't release any more packages. We will be releasing more.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to do is that we're literally taking whole hotels. And it takes time to be able to put that stuff together. But we want to take a lot of people to Tampa. But more importantly, is that we've got to take them in the right way. We've got to know that everything's right. In the beginning of Wrestling Travel, we in our first event, we had 2 fantastic hotels and a hotel that quite honestly let us down, and it wasn't good enough for some of the customers, and we had to learn the hard way from that. So what we've done is that we've put so much more extra due diligence into every single thing that we've done. I was actually down at the Raymond James Stadium, which is the Buccaneers Stadium, where WrestleMania 36 is going to be. I was there a week before WrestleMania 35, doing all the recce personally in terms of what we were doing. So that's how serious we're taking this brand.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the reason why, I mean, literally, I can't make this up. When we put the waiting list out there, the general interest out there for WrestleMania 36, before we closed it, we had over 13,000 people register interest.
That's crazy, man.
Unbelievable.
It's brilliant.
Unbelievable.
It is crazy, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant for you guys.
Well, yeah, it's fantastic, but obviously there's a lot of pressure. We've got to deliver.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've already got some of the special guests lined up, who we're actually going to be having in Tampa. It's going to be great. It's going to be really, really cool.
Nice, man. Oh, brilliant. Just a quick one, just to end. What was the transport issues like for your customers? Obviously, when WrestleMania 35 finished.
Well, the reality is it was the same for everybody. I even know a lot of the talent had issues who were trying to get back from the show. So, unfortunately, I only know this because I was with someone who's got a season ticket for the New York Giants. But what they tried to do is they tried to change the way that the Uber pickups were, instead of just allowing it to be what it would be at a Giants or a Jets game, because they share the same stadium. So they overcomplicated it, didn't realise that it was going to cause such an overflow.
Yeah.
As a consequence, literally. It took me... To be fair, it's not the worst it's been for me. I've been to every WrestleMania since 30. The worst for me was Dallas.
I was there.
It was a nightmare.
I was there as well, mate. That getting in was horrendous.
It was horrendous. I thought it was dangerous, actually.
Yeah. Quite. I never thought of it like that, but yeah, there was a lot of overfilled. It was just overfilled, wasn't it? People trying to wait.
It was. Because, I might be wrong on this, and I'm sure people are going to reach out to you on your podcast and tell me that maybe I am wrong, but sometimes I don't think these stadiums realise how big these events are.
Yeah, the enormity of the company.
The reality is they're bigger than a New York Giants versus a New York Jets game or whatever it may be. They are the bigger. But you shouldn't just try and change certain things without proper due diligence. So for me, it was a pain. And to be honest with you, what we are looking to do is we're looking to actually, but again, we're talking about potentially thousands of people with Wrestling Travel, is we're looking at the prospect of actually having transfers to and from the Buccaneers Stadium to the different hotels. I do not think for 1 minute that it's going to be anywhere near as difficult with the Buccaneers Stadium as what it would be for WrestleMania 35, because there's a lot more in close proximity, whereas MetLife is so far away from everything else that it becomes a bit more difficult.
Absolutely. The best one for transport and the most organised, I thought, was San Francisco 49ers.
It was in 31, yeah. It was good at Levi Stadium.
Obviously,
I've got to be honest with you, I was pretty drunk at that one, so I can't say I remember my chief exec. So we bumped into someone who looked like the Big Show.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was just being stupid, quite honestly, and I picked her up from her back. And I was that drunk, I basically dropped her, and the Big Show kind of rescued us. So, big shout out to the Big Show, like guy, whoever you were at WrestleMania.
Mr. White.
Yeah, Mr. White, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, no, I think just the fact that was built, that was newly built, and they got that bob on with people getting out, because there was a hell of a lot of people trying to get out there, wasn't there?
There was.
I
remember my Uber back from Levi, I think, must have cost me about $150, I think, if memory serves me right. The surcharge was something like six or seven. But at that point, when you're that drunk and you've had such a good time, and I mean, honest to God, I just remember like taking a beer, and all of a sudden Seth Rollins was coming out, and I was like, bloody hell, what is going on here, man? This is insane. And it was just brilliant, great event.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I was glad I got to go to that one. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Lee, just to end the interview, mate, I've read some things about you being Britain's best boss. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, don't believe what you read in the press, Stu. Don't believe what you
read. Right, okay.
I mean, look, don't be wrong, I was very, very flattered by it, but actually it should have been Britain's best bosses when it comes to me and my business partner. But at the end of the day, I was very, very humbled by it. The reality is I'm not Britain's best boss. I am actually quite difficult to work with because my standards are so high. I don't want to give something to a customer that's just okay or good. I want them to have the most unbelievable, incredible experience where it's a life-changing one. And for me, the guys that I work with is, again, if they're good to me, I'm great to them, and vice versa. But I was very, very humbled by it. But at the end of the day, I'm just really dedicated. If someone's good to me, I will try and be great to them.
I like how you didn't take all the plaudits for that as well. I like that.
Well, it's true. I mean, when it all happened, I actually felt a bit awkward about it, to be honest with you, because for me, it's a team event. You know, it's just I shouldn't take all the plaudits because it's my team around me, and I appreciate my business partner isn't as in the press as much as I am, but it's a team effort, a team play, and that's what you've got to remember is there's a reason why you employ people or bring people around you. It's because either it's something that you haven't got time or can't do yourself, or they're better than you, and that's where we are.
Cool, man. Cool. Lee, thank you ever so much for coming on today.
My pleasure, Stu, and hopefully I will see all you guys at the For Love of Wrestling show on Saturday and Sunday. Well, I'll definitely be on the Sunday. Or if you're like me and you're a Tranmere fan, your granddad was a Tranmere fan, Stu, wasn't he?
He was, mate. Yeah, he was born in Wallasey, but obviously they had a house in Prenton which he built not far from the stadium. So my mother and her siblings lived right near the ground, mate. Right near the ground. So yeah, I got an affinity with Tranmere as well. Even though I'm an Evertonian, I've got an affinity to Tranmere Rovers because of my granddad.
Good. But we won't talk about St. Yates's Day then when we beat you quite convincingly in the FA Cup. But on that note, your granddad supported the right team, and maybe you should take more after your granddad.
Thanks for that, Lee. Fantastic. Yeah. I do remember that game. It was not a good day. Not a good day for the Blue Noses.
Well, more than happy to remind you, Stu.
Thank you for that. Right, Lee Mcateer, founder of Wrestling Travel. Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
Thank you, Stu. All the best.
And
keep smashing it. This is the start of great things to come for you, buddy.
Big thank you to the Zangwills for supplying me with the tune New Heights in the intro. So that's Zangwills, New Heights. Get streaming, get listening. Great band. My cousin's band, and chuffed a bit that they've allowed me to use their song. Fantastic.
Cold Saturday nights and borrowed jackets, fishnet tights and love songs scribbled on the back of empty cigarette packets, struggling to remember just quite what it was you said. This fuck